the Hall of Famers from the class of 2025. I wrote everybody's name on the table. You're at the end. Right near Coach Donovan. There you go. Right there.
An Olympic press conference, right?
Thanks to everyone for joining us here in the main interview room in San Antonio and the Alamodome at the 2025 Men's Basketball Final Four. This is our news conference introducing members of the class of 2025 and the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. We're going to introduce each of our participants here this afternoon, going to give them an opportunity to make a statement. And then when we finish all of our different participants up here on the dais, we'll give you guys a chance to ask questions. Then we'll have some breakout opportunities at the end of this news conference. Again, feel free to roll video, feel free to shoot photos, feel free to go on social media immediately if you'd want to. And let's begin. One of the first inductees in the class of 2025 is the 2008 U.S. Olympic men's basketball team. Known as the Redeem Team, they restored American basketball dominance on the international stage. Led by Managing Director Jerry Colangelo and Hall of Fame coach Mike Krzyzewski, the team featured an all-star roster including Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Carmelo Anthony. They went a flawless 8-0 in Beijing, securing the gold medal with a thrilling 118-107 victory over Spain in the final. And joining us here to represent the 2008 U.S. Olympic men's basketball team is the USA Basketball men's national team director, Sean Ford.
Thank you. It's
we can
great.
clap for Sean. Let's clap for Sean.
But first of all, congratulations to everyone here and those that aren't with us today. It's a great class, and from a U.S. basketball perspective, it's not just this team. There are a lot of people that have been, getting into the Hall of Fame that have USA basketball experience that we're happy to be a part of their journey. And so congratulations. And on behalf of USA Basketball, it's an honor for me personally to be here today on behalf of Jerry Colangelo and Coach K and the organization, but most importantly, the players on the team. The accomplishment and what they were able to do for USA Basketball in that moment in time was something special. In 2000, we won the Olympic Games, and it was very hard. It was a tough competition. And then we struggled for a couple of competitions, the 02 World Cup, the 04 Olympics, the 06 World Cup. We were finding our way back. And this team in particular helped us, and Jerry Colangelo's vision of creating a creating a national team program. That was what resulted in what took place on the court in 08. And Coach K's management of the players and the players' commitment to each other and what they were able to accomplish was extraordinary. And, obviously, since then, we've won 5 Olympic Games. And, we kind of say a little bit of the 08 team was a little bit of a North Star for us. It got us back guided on the right ship in the right direction, and we're still on that direction, and a lot of it goes back to that. And one of the things that's very interesting about every gold medal that we've won since the 08 team, there's been a member of that team on the other teams. So in 12 and 16 and 21 and this past summer, 24, there was a member of the 08 team on every team since then. And so, congratulations to the players, and USA Basketball is very excited that this team is honored in this way.
Sean Ford representing the 2008 U.S. Olympic men's basketball team. Our next member of the 2025 class is Carmelo Anthony. A prolific scorer and a 10-time NBA All-Star, Carmelo Anthony left an indelible mark on the game with his ability to take over offensively. From leading Syracuse to an NCAA title as a freshman to being one of the NBA's all-time leading scorers, Carmelo's impact was felt at every level. His 3 Olympic gold medals further solidify his place among basketball's elite. Please welcome at this time a Hall of Famer from the class of 2025, Carmelo Anthony.
Thank you, first of all. this is I mean, again, I keep trying to come up with things to say for these moments, and there's nothing that I can say that's actually going to express the way that I feel or the way that I'm just trying to take this moment in. To be sitting here as a inductee of the 25 Hall of Fame, not just as an individual, but also as a team, 2008 USA team member, right? And so, you know, it's a lot to put into perspective. You get the call about being entered into the Hall of Fame for what you have done for your career and as an individual and what you brought to this game of basketball. And then on the flip side, I was actually waiting on my other call for the 2008 Olympic team. So I didn't get that call. I had to come here and hear the announcement. But I say all that to say, man, it's the energy and the connectivity of what's actually happening right now. Being a part with Sean Ford since 2002 with Team USA. Like you said, going to Venezuela, losing. Going to Greece in Athens in 2004, losing. Going to Japan in 2006, losing. And then realizing that we are falling behind as basketball in the U.S. And it took somebody with a vision like Jerry Colangelo to come and say, we have to create a new standard, we have to create a new form, we have to create a new culture here in the U.S. And that was a part of my journey. So to say that, you know, a part of my journey will also enter with me, you know, separately than an individual player. I just like to say, man, I'm honored. I really don't have any words. I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna say for the Hall of Fame speech. As you know, I'm sitting here getting all this information from, you know, the other Hall of Famers and just trying to take it all in. So I'm gracious. I'm trying to give myself some grace at this moment to just enjoy these times, man. Because this is a hell of a table right here. You know what I mean? I was able to play for Coach Billy Donovan. So when we talk about connectivity, you know, being able to be a part of his team at OKC. This young man right here has reffed me plenty of times. We've had a lot of going back and forth as player refs, but hey, we had a real mutual respect for one another. And Mickey, we've had battles with Miami and New York and things like that. But and all in all, I would like to say thank you guys, because you guys was the one as the media and asking those questions. You guys kept me sharp too to understand how to stay ahead of you guys and what you guys was going to ask me. So thank you guys. You guys played a major part in my career as well. So thank you.
Carmelo Anthony. Our next member of the class of 2025 is one of the NBA's most respected referees. He was a fixture on the league's biggest stages, officiating more than 2,000 regular season games and 30 NBA finals. His remarkable consistency earned him the honor of working the finals for 23 consecutive seasons. Now a member of the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame of the class of 2025, Danny Crawford.
Thank you. Thank you very much. This is, first of all, being at this table with these members up here is a humbling experience. But for the most part, if I'm in a room like this looking at all the reporters, that means I'm in trouble, okay? Because you only referees are to be seen and not heard from. So I'm very uncomfortable sitting in this room because I think I'm in trouble. Are you going to ask me some, you know, tough questions? But this is a humbling experience, you know, being, you know, inducted into the Hall of Fame. It's a very unusual thing. Referees aren't accustomed to this. We are accustomed to you guys chasing us out of the building, talking about us, disagreeing with everything that we do. And for me to sit here and for you all to look sane and, you know, you don't have that look like I'm in trouble, I feel pretty comfortable. So thank you very much and look forward to your questions.
Danny Crawford. Our next inductee, a two-time NCAA champion coach who built a powerhouse at the University of Florida before transitioning to the NBA, where he continues to lead with more than 400 victories. His ability to develop talent and implement winning systems has made him one of the game's most respected leaders. Known as Billy the Kid, the former Providence College point guard under Hall of Famer Rick Pitino is a member of the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame's class of 2025. Billy Donovan.
Thank you very much. Just also want to congratulate everybody else who's up here who's been inducted. I think everybody up here so far has kind of expressed exactly how I feel. It's very overwhelming. It's very, very humbling. I think it really makes you and takes you to a place of real reflection, of people that, have impacted your life, from my family, my parents, my wife and my kids. But then you think about being in this game, you're only as good as the people that are around you. And certainly that's the case, in coaching. And, I've been fortunate to coach a lot of great players, guys that were committed, to the game, to winning. And I was really, really blessed to have so many great coaches and people around me for such a long period of time. And, I'm thankful. I'm really, really humbled sitting up here. I think when you get into the game of basketball, at least for me, I never thought about sitting up here one day and being inducted into the Hall of Fame. You did it because you loved it. And I'm just incredibly honored, grateful, and thankful for so many people that played such an impactful part of my life. So thank you.
Billy Donovan. Our next member of the class of 2025, a dominant force in the paint, an 8-time All-Star, and a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. Known for his rebounding, shot blocking, and rim protection, Dwight Howard helped lead the Orlando Magic to the 2009 NBA Finals, and he won a championship with the Lakers in 2020. From high school to the NBA and now to Springfield, please welcome our next member of the class of 2025, Dwight Howard.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming out today and celebrating such a prestigious and amazing award of being inducted into the Hall of Fame. I'm just glad to be here and join with some amazing people. Sean, Melo, Danny. I'm going for you guys, Billy. But Billy and also Mickey, this is such an amazing honor. I've been playing the game of basketball my whole entire life, and to make it to heaven, this is the only way I can describe it, it's such a beautiful thing. This is like what you dream for. It's what you sit at home and shoot basketball all day and all night for, just to make it to basketball heaven. And I'm just overwhelmed with joy, gratitude, all the emotions, just everyone. Just the words cannot describe, how this moment feels, just to be up on this stage, to represent my family, to represent my friends, all the people who have went along with this journey with me. The good, the bad, and the ugly is all led to being up in the Hall of Fame. So I'm so thankful. The media, every one of you guys have made my life amazing. So thank you guys for that. And yes, that's it. Thank you. Thank you.
Dwight Howard. Since acquiring the Miami Heat in 1995, our next Hall of Fame inductee has transformed the franchise into one of the NBA's most successful organizations, winning 3 NBA championships. His leadership, alongside Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra, has defined a culture of excellence, both on and off the court. This longtime owner will now be forever enshrined in the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame as a member of the class of 2025. Please welcome Mickey Arison.
Thank you, and congratulations to everybody up here. It's been a fascinating 24 hours spent with you guys. It's been great. It was never my goal to be up here. My goal was to try to put together an organization that the community in Miami would be proud of, that we would compete at the highest levels. So I went out and got some of the best people I could, starting with Pat Riley, and they took it from there. To me, this is an award and a recognition of the efforts of the organization, the Miami Heat organization, all its employees, and especially its great players that we've had over the last 30 years. So on their behalf, I'm accepting this award and thank everybody for recognizing their efforts. Thank you.
Mickey Arison. These 6 individuals join Sue Bird, Maya Moore, and Sylvia Fowles. Those 3 individuals are at the women's basketball Final Four in Tampa as members of the class of 2025. So having heard from our distinguished guests and inductees, if you have questions for them, please raise your hand. We have 4 microphone stewards circulating. Let's start in the back on the right side, and we'll take a question.
Yeah, this is for Carmelo and Billy. 2 people in the Hall of Fame now that it started at you guys in the Final Four where you're at right now. Do you ever go back and look at those memories and just what does it mean for you guys to be here at the Hall of Fame getting this honor when it started there for you both?
For me, it's the Final Four holds a special place for me because it was a moment where you had to really come together. I mean, you had to come together throughout the tournament, but the Final Four is a different type of moment that you have to come together. You have to block everything out. It's media that you have to deal with. It's a whole run of show that you have to deal with in the Final Four, alongside having to focus on the game of basketball. And I just think the way that teams are able to come together throughout the Final Four in the course of the Final Four, that's the moment that really determines who you are, what happens, what type of team you're going to be, what type of people you're going to be. And these relationships and friendships carry over for a lifetime. So those were some of the experiences that I actually was very well aware of as I was going throughout the Final Four. And I also had Coach Boeheim alongside with me who's been there, who understood what it takes to win, what it takes to be in a situation in a moment like that. So it was a lot of kind of jitters going on out there, but also when you 17 and 18, you're not getting nervous. It's like you going out there, you playing basketball. Luckily, I had the opportunity to play in front of 30,000 on some nights in the Carrier Dome, so I was used to playing in front of big arenas and big crowds. So coming to New Orleans in 2003 was a very, very special moment. And also, knowing the game of history, the game of basketball, and being a student of the game, I also knew that Coach Boeheim lost in that same arena to Indiana years ago to keep Smart in that same corner, same shot. So, though that play kept playing alongside in my brain, and I say all that to say there's nothing like a Final Four moment. So I just hope everybody who's experiencing this Final Four moment enjoy it, understand what it is, because as a player, it's a special moment.
Same question to Coach Donovan.
Yeah, it's interesting listening to Carmelo talk because he doesn't even realize this. I was in the Final Four when Smart made that shot.
Oh.
Syracuse beat us to get to the national championship game.
Connectivity.
But the thing that's amazing is, I don't know if people really know, is Carmelo, you were a freshman, right?
Yes.
He won the national championship as a freshman in college, which was really incredible. And we were both obviously in the Superdome in New Orleans, both of our Final Fours. So the connection through the game, and then obviously having a chance to work with Carmelo in Oklahoma City. For me, I don't think Providence had been to the NCAA tournament for 10 straight years. So this was kind of like all new. Syracuse, was really already established as a program, for a long period of time. And, they were close to getting to a national championship. And obviously Carmelo and the rest of that group took them over the top. But, for me to experience that, after never even getting to the NCAA tournament for 3 straight years, it changes your life and your perspective, and, you learn a lot. We were in the Big East, so we played in the Carrier Dome, and Carmelo's right, it's 30,000 people. But you go to the Superdome there, it's 65, 70,000. It's a totally different atmosphere, experience altogether. So to have it be my senior year, to get to a Final Four like that was just an incredible experience that, I don't even know if you know how to prepare for something like that.
We're going to go up front to the left side. Adam.
Yeah, hey guys, Adam Zagoria from NJ.com. This is for Carmelo and Billy. Cooper Flagg was right up there where you guys are yesterday, accepting National Player of the Year honors. How special is what he's doing right now as a freshman? Carmelo, a lot of people comparing Cooper to you, obviously trying to win it as a freshman. How good is this kid? And how do you see him projecting immediately into the NBA? Can he make an impact right away?
Melo first, then Coach.
I think what we're seeing with Cooper is it has some similarities to the run that I had. I also like to point out, you know, you got to take your hat off to Coach Shire too, because the way that he was able to orchestrate that team and put the pieces around, you know, Cooper, so he can be able to go out there and flourish and do what he do and become the National Player of the Year. So I also think at my point in time in 03, Syracuse, yeah, we was a big program, but we was on the downside of things too. So nobody expected us to go out there with 4 freshmen being a part of a team to go win a national championship. So again, we were playing just for fun, and we was happy to be there, and we was happy-go-lucky kids. Whereas now, it's like a real business. Like you know, you coming into school to try to win a national championship. You know, you're going to the best situation, which is totally different. But on the flip side, from a basketball standpoint, I think what we're seeing from Cooper, from a skill set standpoint, I don't think we've seen that in a long time. Somebody who can control the game and demand the game in the way that he can in all aspects, from rebounding to weak side block shots to defense closing out. And also he can go get a bucket too, so that adds a little bit more to your game. I just love watching him as a player, and I said this the other day to somebody, like, if he could go get this championship, then he sits at that small table at the university, at Duke University. And it's one more seat left, and he has an opportunity to go pull that seat up.
Think he can make an impact right away in the NBA?
I think so. I believe so. I mean, he's already making an impact. He's already playing against, you know, in college, guys are 26, 27 now. Like, it's not like you're playing against 17-year. You know, you're playing against grown men in college. So he had the opportunity to play against the USA team in practice. So, I mean, if you get that experience at 17, 18 years old, I mean, I just hope you give him some grace. You know, give him a time to develop, a couple years.
We can't vouch for Adam, but other people will give him grace out there. But, Billy.
Yeah, I think the game's changed so much because of what Carmelo said. A lot of these guys are older now. Guys are staying in college longer because of the NIL and the opportunity to earn money, right? I can't sit there and say that I've watched a lot of his games. I have watched him, but the one thing that stands out to me besides the skill level is the tenacity, the toughness, and the competitiveness. And, you know, Dwight and Carmelo know this better than anybody. Like, and I was in college for a long time. These guys have a different mindset competitively. And if you don't have that mindset, it's really, really hard to survive up there as a player. And he appears to have that kind of mindset. That's going to serve him well. And to Carmelo's point, he'll get better, he'll skill into development. But I think probably Dwight and Carmelo could speak probably more eloquently than I could of what it was like to come into the NBA as a rookie and know, okay, really, he's showing up, this young guy, okay, I'm going to try to do something. This is the way these guys are, you know. But I think because of Cooper's competitiveness and leaning into stuff and the physicality, that's going to really, really serve him well as his skill level continues to grow and develop.
Dwight, did you have a thought on that?
Yes, I've had a few chances to watch Cooper play, and I think he's an awesome young player coming in to the NBA at a very young age. Could be very difficult, and I think that his time at Duke, the way that the staff has really helped him grow as a player and a person, he's going to be great in the NBA, and I'm looking forward to seeing him thrive.
Thank you. All the way to the back on the left.
Gene Thompson, ESPN 97.5. This question is for Danny Crawford. Danny, I know you officiated a lot of games, especially ones with Carmelo and Dwight. Could you tell us all which one of these guys really gave you the business?
Both. Both. You know, the relationships referees have with players, for the most part, it's a working relationship. They're going to do their job, and I'm going to do my job. And at the end of the night, we'll figure out, you know, who did their job best. So we always have a working relationship. Carmelo's going to go at it hard. Dwight's going to go at it hard. And I'm going to go at it hard in a different way. Mine's more mental. Theirs is more physical. And we're going to have a working relationship on the court. I'm going to stay out of their way as long as they're doing their job. Then I stay out of the way because I have no job. So that's pretty much how a referee and a player and referees and teams, that's pretty much how we manage, to stay in existence.
We're going to go over to the right side of the room to Myron, but before we do, we have this question from online reporter for Mickey. Mickey, how'd you build the championship with LeBron, Wade, and Bosh? And what's been the key to maintaining that culture of excellence, that standard since?
We talk a lot about culture, and a lot of people now talk about culture a lot. But it's pretty simple. It's just everybody, as Danny said, everybody doing their job, and come to work on time, work hard, be proud in what you're accomplishing, support your teammates. We talk about enjoying each other's successes, and that's what it's all about. It's just working hard together, and hopefully the outcome at the end is great. You obviously need great players like the two guys up here, and we've been fortunate enough, especially in those 4 years when we went to the finals 4 years in a row. As you guys know, we had some pretty good players.
Thank you. We'll go to the far right side of the room. Myron?
Yeah, Myron Metcalf, ESPN for Carmelo and Dwight. Did you ever have any doubts that you would be on that stage? And if so, how did you handle that and just the weight?
Dwight first, then Melo.
I don't think there was any doubts, but I just didn't think about, anything. But I had an amazing career. I gave 110% every time I stepped on the court, and what's going to happen is going to happen. And when I got the call, it's the best feeling in the world.
For me, it was, and I've never thought about it, to be honest with you. You just playing basketball, and you look up, okay, you accomplished this, and it's on to the next. So you don't really have time to sit back and reflect on any of the accomplishments as you're going through the journey. So I've never thought about the Hall of Fame. You start thinking about it as your work would tell you when to start thinking about it. The work that you put in would tell you. Things that I was doing was starting to tell me, okay, Melo, you put in the work. You in the game for 19 years. You have all of these accolades, but it's not just about winning and losing while we up here. It's about the impact that you actually have for the game of basketball. For me, globally, having that impact for the game of basketball, having an impact from a grassroots program to college, to professional, to international basketball. To me, that's when I started looking at the Hall of Fame for basketball. It wasn't just about what I was doing on the court. It was like, how am I impacting this game from a global standpoint? And if my peers and people that I played against and owners and things like that look at me and say, hey, Melo's a great representation of this game of basketball around the world, then yeah, I'll start looking at the Hall of Fame after that.
We have two questions up front. Let's start on the left of the aisle, then we'll go to the right.
Robert Listella, Bracketeer.org. My question is for Mickey. What's it been like developing a successful program team in Miami and seeing kind of building that team in a way that kind of represents the city and the fans itself?
Again, it's my management style is like get the best people and let them go to work and don't get in their way. Danny talked about the best thing about the best way an official could be recognized is if he isn't recognized, if he's invisible. Well, I kind of feel the same way about owners. I'm really uncomfortable being up here because I think the best owners are the most invisible owners, and I'd rather be invisible than be up here.
We think you're doing a fabulous job. Don't we think we think Mickey's doing a fabulous job? Up front to the right.
Billy, how special is the timing of this? On the same day that it was announced that you're being elected into the Hall of Fame, the Gators are playing in the Final Four.
Yeah, it was kind of karma, right? I mean, just to have a chance to be here, sharing this moment, and then have Florida be able to play in the Final Four and get a chance to watch some of the game, was great. So got a chance to see a lot of people that I haven't seen in quite some time, and that part's been really, really nice. So it's just kind of ironic how it all worked out.
Up front on the left, Zach.
Zach Braziller, New York Post. Carmelo, could you rate what this accomplishment, where this stands for you from some of your great accomplishments? Obviously, the national championship, some of the stuff you did in the NBA. Where does this go?
Oh, this is it. This is it. They don't get no better than this. They don't get greater than this. I mean, all of those things, those accomplishments that you've mentioned, this range just puts a cap on that, and it makes it all worth the while of. Again, I keep going back to the journey. Y'all hear me talk about the journey. Like, it's a journey when you doing this for 2 decades. So you have to take the good, the bad, and the ugly with that. And if you go through that process with the good, the bad, and the ugly, and you come out on the other side of it, and this is the blessing that I get for going through that, this is the greatest accomplishment that I ever will accomplish. I will tell you that.
Famer.
We got a follow-up if you can turn the microphone on.
Sorry. To hear Carmelo Anthony Hall of Famer, what does that feel like? What is your first thoughts to hear that?
I'm satisfied. It was worth it. And I'm satisfied. I'm here. Again, it just comes back to being satisfied. I mean, when you're an athlete and playing and you compete, and your coaches tell you never be satisfied. So you have that mentality until you can sit back and take yourself out of that situation in that moment and realize I'm good on basketball. I'm satisfied. This is the gates. This is the doors, and it's nothing that anyone can take away from me from that.
We're going to the center of the room with the back left microphone.
Jackson Shank, Hoops HQ, Carmelo. With the type of collegiate career that you had and you're back at the Final Four, your son's going to be playing at your alma mater in 6 months. What advice have you given him before he steps into the world of college basketball?
He should have had his ass right here so he can get the experience. He should have been right here looking at these fans. But no, I just, seniors in high school, man, they want that moment where they can have a couple weeks off. But no, I for me, it's just a proud moment just to be able to. I mean, I'm here at the Final Four, and he have an opportunity to come into college next year and create his own kind of lane and have an opportunity to play in the Final Four. So, again, I've never been in these moments to explain to you how I feel about the experience. I just know he have an opportunity to go into college, go to Syracuse, understand what's happening, understand what came before you, but also allowing yourself to carve out something different right now. So I'm excited. Hopefully I'm here this time next year, inducting some other Hall of Famers, but also watching my son play in this moment.
We're going to the left side of the room.
Deshaun Tate from the three-point conversion. This question is for Dwight. Excuse me. Coach Donovan talked a little bit about how the game has changed in different mentalities and so forth. Obviously, some things had changed during the middle and prime of your career with, small ball and things of that nature. How did that kind of impact your career where, obviously the bigs in the game and so forth kind of start making its way out maybe just a little bit or just to dump it down low bigs and so forth? How did that impact you and how, the things that you had to do in order to kind of keep things flowing for you in the game?
Well, for me, I just had to adapt. I think playing basketball for as long as I've played, I've had to play all positions from the point guard to center. And each one took a time for me to adapt. My last part of my career, I was not the main guy on the team. I was the role player, the guy that had to come in, bring a lot of energy. And I had a lot of fun doing that, so my whole career, I just had to adapt to all my surroundings, adapt to everything that was going on. And that takes a lot of dedication, perseverance, and a lot of faith in yourself, knowing that you can do anything that you put your mind to. So that's how I took that. And it led me here, so no matter what the situation was, it led me right to this moment, which is being in the Hall of Fame. So I'm grateful that I could say I went through all these different stages of my career, the good, the bad, all the ups, the downs, being the star, being the role player, being the bench guy, being the guy that's just there for energy, all that stuff. It really made me into the Hall of Famer I am today. So I'm very grateful about that.
We're going to move up front on the right side.
Isaac Bourne, Mid-Major Madness. Danny, with the treatment of referees nowadays kind of souring with fans, what is your message to future referees and current referees nowadays on how to block out that noise? And then also, what is your message to the fans to maybe dial it back a little bit on some of the referees that are just trying to do their job?
That is a great question. Do you know fans are not very educated about referees? Your first reaction is especially if it goes against your team, is the referees were wrong. I would advise everybody in this room, and I know it's the most boring thing in the world to do, watch a game, boo the refs, and then do me a favor now. Turn the sound down when you're going to replay it. Take the volume, put it at 0, watch the game, and watch the plays. And what you'll realize is they're better than you think. It's just the culture. And the question about the referees, shame on them if they didn't know a part of their job description was to block them out. I would referee a game and not hear a fan, and the arena could be 30,000 fans booing at me. And if I hear the fans, my concentration isn't where it should be. So for those referees, if they need advice on how to block it out, they missed it when they started getting into refereeing.
We have a question for Sean from Zoom, over here on the Zoom. What do you think the defining moment was from the 2008 run, and how did the strategy in the years leading up to it help achieve that moment?
I think the defining moment for the team was the gold medal game. We were fighting our way back when we were unsuccessful in winning at the World Cup in 2006 in Japan. We had a really tough loss to Greece. Dwight and Carmelo were there. It was really a tough loss, but a lot of good came out of it, and you learn a lot. You learn more from a loss than a win, unfortunately. But we fought our way back, and we had to qualify for the Olympic Games. So we had to train and play in a tournament in 2007, and they were both on the team. We were fighting our way back, and I remember there was a time, we're heading into the quarterfinals, which in China, and it was just the team was doing great, and China loved basketball, and they loved basketball, so they loved our team. But even then, we get to the quarterfinals, we really haven't accomplished anything yet. We had 3 games, and we were playing well, and we get to the game against Spain, and it was a war. It was really a challenge all the way through. I remember there was talk last night a little bit. There was a timeout with 8 minutes to go, and it was a 2-point game. And it was as if there was no strategy discussed. It was we just needed a break. We just wanted to stop. It was like going back, in a boxing match and just between rounds. And we just took a break and went back out. And, Kobe, God bless him, he assisted or scored in the last 7 possessions of the game. And it was a really defining moment. But it was also the excitement after the game that the players had, because oftentimes when the U.S. wins, it can be more relief than excitement sometimes because of the high expectation. So the defining moment was, being challenged and fighting through the adversity, and the way that they fought through the adversity was because they believed in each other, and they were really a team. They were really a team, and they knew what they were representing, and they knew what they were trying to do, and they did it in a very hard fought way. And the excitement that they had, there was no relief. It was all exhilaration. And so that was a special moment. And I think once they feel it, we're bonded for life. And, what I would say to you, it's interesting, not all the players knew that they got in. I ran into Chris Paul this morning. He came, we have, 65 high school players here at a camp. And Chris came by to see the players. He didn't know. I said, hey, we're getting in. He goes, really? And I said, yeah. And I was thinking, no one knows. We knew. We were together last night. I called Jason Kidd. He didn't know. We talked this morning. Dwayne Wade, we text, Tayshaun Prince, Carlos Boozer, Mike D'Antoni, Nate McMillan. They're so excited. People didn't know, because, it's not like, we got in. And so everyone's, we're hoping to get the whole team together in September in Springfield. It'd be great. Just be great. So, you're bonded for life when you accomplish something like that. And that's, the moment lives on.
Yeah, and we'll get that. We got that train rolling here this afternoon, and we'll keep it rolling right up until the fall, into the induction. I want to thank our participants and congratulate the latest members of the 2025 Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. We're going to ask everybody to stand up. We'll take a group photo here on the dais, and then we'll go into some breakout areas and do some individual interviews. Okay. As these guys are getting ready for the photo, I'll let you know that Carmelo